Probably wondering what the hell I'm doing. I'm actually looking for my breath because I'm an idiot and it's 35 degrees out. I'm in my garage. The garage is open and there's zero heat. Hello everybody, my name is Colin and hopefully my head is fitting in here, my big bulbous head. I have been testing several ride modes on my 2021 Pan America Special. And this video today, not only am I going to tell you my favorite ride mode, but I'm also going to tell you how to turn off and turn on traction control and turn off the rear ABS as well. You're looking at the main dash of the Harley. And I'm not an expert on how to ride off-road by any stretch of the means, but the good thing is I'm learning. And I had an experience not knowing the proper mode to be in and how it made me actually drop this bike. And I'm gonna get into that in a minute. So with the Pan Am, there are several ride modes to choose from, and we'll go through these real quick. So from rain to road to sport, and sport by far is my favorite, on-road obviously. That thing kicks ass. And then it goes to off-road, and then when you hold down the mode button like that, it turns purple with that little plus symbol. Now you're in off-road plus. To get out, you just click it again. Now I'm back in off-road. And then you have some custom modes. So like there's two custom modes, an A and a B. I only set up A. Eventually I'll set up another one. So let me scroll back down to, ooh, I missed it, to off-road. Now in the off-road mode, this has a mid-range level of power. I talked about the sport mode earlier, it has the most, and the rain has the least. Now with this off-road mode, ABS is active on both wheels. And it has like interventions for loose and unpaved surfaces like gravel or maybe packed dirt. While the mode has much lower traction control compared to the others, it doesn't mean it's off. So I got to make sure you get that. It doesn't mean it's off. So come to find out, when I was in West Virginia, so I went through this ride, it was about 2 months ago, and was riding along great, and I was only in the off-road mode. I was not in off-road plus. I didn't even take off the traction control. But we came upon this like creek, probably like a foot and a half of water, and then I sat back and I watched all the guys go through it. And so I hit the throttle, did my stance, I was ready, and then probably about majority of the way through, I got through it, and then all of a sudden, boom, my back tire just stopped, and then I fell over and I dropped the bike. Bike ended up being okay, but it was a rite of passage. I got up, I was stoked, I was like, all right, I fell. Now come to find out, the reason that happened is the traction control kicked in when I was in the water and hitting some rocks. Prevented the wheel from spinning when I actually really needed it to. So I should have been an off-road plus or had the traction control completely turned off. What you're seeing right now on the off-road plus mode, you have the same engine performance as off-road, but the ABS basically prevents the wheels from spinning while braking, and traction control prevents spinning while you're accelerating. The front isn't off, but the rear is. So if you look at that little blinking icon right there? So you see the two blinky ones. One says traction control and the other one is ABS. If you look to the right, there's going to be a little one that has got a slash through the ABS and it says rear. That's signifying that the ABS on the rear is completely off, and you only get that in off-road plus mode. Also with the plus mode, the level of the traction control is at its lowest level. Now some other things with the plus mode is that the link brakes are disabled, as well as the, cornering enhancement for the traction control. Now, before I get into actually what that is, I will tell you hands down that Off-Road Plus is my favorite mode. Now, I definitely need more practice in this mode, but you won't have nearly as many restrictions with the ABS or the traction control. Now, within the whole traction control system, there is a thing called the cornering enhanced traction control, and I think they call it a Harley CTCS? CTCS, yeah, that's right. And the other thing within traction control is front lift mitigation, or otherwise known as FLM. So in a nutshell, again, I mentioned this earlier, traction control keeps the wheels from spinning during acceleration. It's really useful in wet conditions when you have that traction control and the ABS, but not so much when you're off-road. Now on this corner enhancement traction control, that prevents the back wheel from spinning while on the throttle, whether you're going straight or you're cornering. Now each ride mode has different levels of this enhancement that they put on the bike. The corner enhancement also helps with preventing wheelies, or remember I said it a minute ago, the FLM, the front lift mitigation. Same as the other modes, are similar to them. The rain is the most restrictive with ABS. I don't know if restrictive is the proper word with that, but it has the most ABS and the corner enhancement, while the Off-Road Plus, the one you're looking at right now, has the least. Now with my favorite mode of Off-Road Plus, this completely turns off the front wheel mitigation, so you can wheelie away. And I know it's more designed if like you want to go over a quick log or a quick rock or something like that, but wouldn't doing wheelies, wouldn't that be fun too? Now, fully turning off the traction control disables the traction control and the front lift mitigation. Remember, in Off-Road Plus, it only turns off just that FLM on the front, the wheelie thing, but it lowers the cornering traction to the least of all the ride modes. So if you want it completely off, it's actually really simple to do, and that's what we're going to do on this next step. The audio might sound a little bit different now because I have my helmet on. This is my helmet audio that I do for vlogging, and the reason is because I'm going to start the bike here, and I wanted you guys to be able to hear me okay, because if I had my other mic, it would have probably got blown out. So with traction control, it's always enabled when you first start the bike. No matter what mode you're in, you start it up, it's in. Now, see this button right here? You need to be at a complete stop, and the engine has to be running, hence why I have it running right now, because you can't do it in accessory mode. Now, it's a little confusing the way I have the screen set up. So if you look at the screen here, so right now, traction control is on. And I can tell because if you look at the far left TC, the one that's blinking, the two blinking lights, it's the one on the left. That means that it's enabled. So to turn it off, I just have to hold down the button again for a second, and now look, it's solid. So now, with it being solid, guess what that means? It means the traction control is now officially off. Super confusing. Why didn't Harley just make a simple icon? Like if you look at the rear ABS, see how it's got the slash through it? In Off-Road Plus, they could have done the same thing, put a little icon in there with a slash through it, but no, they didn't. So when it's solid, that means it's off. So if you look at it and you think, oh wait, traction control's on, it's actually off when it's solid. Now I'm going to turn it off again, or turn it back on, excuse me. See how it's flashing? Now the traction control is enabled again. So if you're riding in a ride mode and you come around a corner or something, and that is flashing, that means that the traction control is being enabled as you ride. So does that make sense? Harley engineering at its finest. Thank you guys for doing that because it confused the hell out of me, but I finally figured it out. So I wanted to show you guys out there, in case you didn't know this, that's how you can tell if traction control is on or off. It's on right now. And again, just to show you one more time, I push that button for a second. Now traction control is officially off. So let me go and wrap this up. End of the day, you're going to ride your own ride. And if you want it off, turn it off. If not, leave it on. I found that I have a much more enjoyable ride with Off-Road Plus, but this could bite you if you don't have the experience level. When I say that, that meaning having that traction control completely turned off. It's more designed for more experienced riders. But here's the thing. I'm going to actually practice more in Off-Road Plus and then intertwine taking the traction control off so I can get better, because the only way you're going to get better is kind of practicing the hardest mode. At least that's my take. So hopefully this video is helpful for you guys. Now get out there, ride, be well, and I'll talk to you guys soon.